Caleb, I come bearing gifts.
Oh, yeah?
Very enthusiastic. Yeah, so I was cleaning out the closet, one of my aunt's closets, and found just randomly like 2 bags of DVDs. And for people not in the know, Caleb has a massive DVD collection that I'm looking at right now. It's huge, very impressive. I looked through these, and there's some heat. There's some genuine heat. There are several Best Picture winners, mostly contemporary ones, but one of the older. So,
okay.
And I went through, I took like maybe 3 things that I really wanted. It was like WALL-E on Blu-ray. And I love that movie. And I would, pretty much everything else was like, Caleb's not going to want this and I'll probably just have it. Like there was Spider-Man 3. I assume you're okay missing that one.
I only own Spider-Man 1.
You know what's funny? Before this, I only owned Spider-Man 2.
So together, combined,
we own all the good Spider-Mans. But to be honest, 3 sucks. I rewatched it and it doesn't hold up. But so Caleb, I want to give this gift to you. It is one full Trader Joe's type bag of DVDs. I'll hand this to you right now.
Oh my god! I did not realize this was all DVDs. I thought this was like half liquor.
Nope, all DVDs. So go through. Maybe we'll find something to do in a future episode. But tell the people what you're seeing.
Okay, yeah. First up, Schmidt, dude. Schmidt is in everything we watch on this podcast. Schmidt from New Girl and Nick Cannon star in Drumline, 2 thumbs up, widescreen edition. Your aunt had this?
It's not hers. I asked her. She says, I don't buy DVDs like this. It's not anybody who was near the house, so I don't get it.
I'm really curious how that ended up in there. That must be...
It's not.
Really?
It is not.
We got Men in Black 2, 2 Men, 2 Black.
I have to say something first. Men in Black still holds up visually today.
I haven't seen that either I haven't seen Spider-Man 3 since I was like 8 years old, which I think is when it came out, actually. Probably. Yeah. So it could be terrible, but I remember it being great. I remember Men in Black 2 being fine. And when something is fine when you're a kid, that's how you know it's really bad.
Yeah.
We got Titanic.
And some of these are sealed copies.
Oh my God. We got $34.98. Can you imagine paying $34.98
for this? For
Dances with Wolves on DVD.
On 2 discs, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, we got Chicago. What year did that come out, Nick?
8? 7?
Year 8. Year Jesus was 8. Gone with the Wind. What year was that?
39.
Yes, you're correct on that. Showgirls.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of Best Picture winners. And then we got Paul Verhoeven, right?
Yes.
Is that him? Never seen this, technically.
And it has Washington native Kyle MacLachlan in it.
Yes.
I think this is worth a watch, Caleb. We might... this is one of those things that people either give 5 stars or half a star in Letterboxd.
I've seen the revisionism that people say, no, it was satire and no one got it, which is true of the other Verhoeven movie, Starship Troopers.
And RoboCop, in some sense, is also satirical.
Did people misunderstand the satire in RoboCop?
I think some people just see it as an action movie. They don't understand the deeper themes.
Yeah.
But you're right about Starship Troopers. That is a big thing where people online are like, you don't get it. They're meant to be fascist. It's like the people shooting bugs. And
yeah.
Well, the book is more, it's easy to see the tone in there.
I've seen Starship Troopers having known, I think Ebert and other critics were like, this is promoting fascism. And when you watch the movie, you're like, are you actually dense?
Yeah.
Clearly a comedy, but whatever.
Yeah.
This looks like Blue Velvet, by the way, the back of this Showgirls.
It has as much sexual violence as Blue Velvet, so...
I know that girl, the main girl in it, she's like a Disney kid, right?
The blonde?
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget her name, but the other chick, the brunette, is Gina Gershon. She's in Killer Joe.
Oh, the mom in Killer Joe?
Yeah.
Oh my God, these girls are really fucked up and sexual on camera.
Yeah.
The main like notable thing about Showgirls that I know outside of the controversy is that the main actress was like a Disney kid and was like, oh, she's gonna go nude in this movie, and she shows everything many times.
Paul Verhoeven, to his credit, multiple movies, you just see everything.
I like that. Speaking of seeing everything, Demi Moore, The Substance. We have A Few Good Men. We have a man who committed suicide and a man who should have committed suicide. We have Tim Robbins and Robin Williams. Oh, hey, look at that. Is that why they're cast together in Cadillac Man?
So you're going to be noticing something is there's a lot of Williams, both Tim and Robin. And what do you have in your hand there, sir?
So this is Treasure. Mm-hmm. This is Deconstructing Harry by Woody Allen on DVD. Now, I own this on DVD, but you can't really get it from less than like $50 in most places. So put this in the vault.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Death to Smoochie. Now, this is a famous bomb. Never seen it. This is like, what's the turtle movie?
Am I not turtly enough for the Turtle Club? Master of Disguise.
This is Master of Disguise level infamous, like, kind of, career ruining. Like, what the hell did I just see? Although, unlike Master of Disguise, this didn't actually end the careers of Robin Williams and Ed Norton. Apparently, Ed Norton is, like, going all out in that movie. He's playing, like, who's the purple dinosaur?
Barney?
Yeah. I think he's playing a Barney type. I know him as the purple dinosaur. Oh, the Hudsucker Proxy. Coen Brothers, get some.
Like I told you off mic, there are some genuinely good movies in here.
Patch Adams.
And then you have Patch Adams.
This is a very, like, grandma collection.
Yeah, but it's not hers. It's very surprising. These just appeared.
We got Singing in the Rain. Mm-hmm. State Fair.
I didn't know what that was. It's some old-looking movie. With some people who are surely dead.
Screenplay by Oscar Hammerstein from Blue Moon fame.
You're going to see another thing that relates to Blue Moon.
Jerry Maguire.
Tobey Maguire's brother.
Oklahoma. Yeah. Okay, from Blue Moon fame. I see what you're saying.
Sealed copy, I believe.
North by Northwest.
Mm-hmm.
Worst actor. Cary Grant.
Okay.
Apollo 13. I haven't seen the first 12. Love Actually. I know this is referred to as Pulp Fiction for women.
It's definitely a girl movie. It's by the guy who did the fucking balloon movie we did for Enduring Love. It's same director.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What's that guy's name? David Brent?
No, it's not him.
Richard Curtis?
No.
It says written and directed by Richard Curtis.
It might
so
be
you got that wrong.
What am I thinking? It might be something else.
Notting Hill?
It's Notting. That's okay. Notting Hill's the director.
Roger Mitchell.
That's
that fucker's name. Oh, yeah. I said that he should die, and then I found out that he was already
dead. You found out he died immediately after you said that.
Mitzi Gaynor, Razzle Dazzle, The Special Years.
So, I don't know what the hell this is, but I thought it'd be funny to show you this. That's definitely just like a dancing performance video that's beyond our, knowledge of our generation.
It's rated TV MA.
She shows it.
We're going to watch that later. Zoolander, never seen.
Really? Okay.
Yes. I don't think I've seen any Ben Stiller comedy that wasn't Tropic Thunder.
Interesting. This is one of Alexander Skarsgård's first movies. He plays a guy that he plays like a male model for like one scene.
Interesting. I gotta say, the photos in the back very promising of Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson doing face. That's all it is.
Yeah. Well, if you know nothing about Zoolander, that will make sense later.
Oh, and Sling Blade, your favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you were saying that this is one of the most transcendent movies, right?
So, I think this movie is really funny because Billy Bob Thornton is a great actor in it. He's giving a really good performance, but the movie just boils down to him going, I killed that person with a blade, And then once he gets out of prison, he meets a kid who's just like, you're really nice. I don't get why people call you. He goes, I don't either. And then he shows him to his mom like a pet. And his mom's like, well, that boy sure is nice. Why is everybody so mean to him? He goes, I don't know. And then Dwight Yoakam comes in and he's just evil. And he goes, no, let me tell you something there. And then he goes, and then he spoilers for Sling Blade. Alert. But so that entire movie really just follows the beat of, oh, he's oh, never mind.
Is it even, oh, never mind, actually?
And then he's working at that, like, what is it, like car repair shop or something. The guy brings in the lawnmower and he's just like, I don't know. I've been trying to figure out how to do everything. He goes, it ain't got no gas in it.
He's a genius.
And they're just like, he's a savant. I'm like, well.
It's kind of like Rain Man for like Arkansas,
He's Arkansas. They drop a bunch of toothpicks. It's like 100. He goes, that's 3.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
He's like 247. Like, there's not even 2.
We didn't drop anything.
What are you saying?
What are you talking about? Put him back.
Since he's violent, that movie could be called Pain Man. Has that joke already been made?
No, you were the first person.
Okay, we're making Pain Man.
The double feature Rain Man and Pain Man.
Maybe we cut that little riff because that might be perfect for a sketch of like, can you do a good Billy Bob Thornton impression? Could you do like talk as him? And
yeah. I mean, you've heard me say it just seconds ago.
Yeah.
What is 4,986 times 294?
15. He answers like he's like Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Like Beetlejuice, how do you spell carrot? He's like, I think it's a carrot.
It's about like 37.
Have you seen the video where someone's like, I want you to say, I'm about to go upstairs and get my freak on. And he's like, I'm about to freak.
Yeah,
like, no.
And he's like, no, listen to me. I want you to say this. He goes, all right, go ahead, say it. And he's just like, I want to go upstairs. All right, I want you to follow by me. It's like Beetlejuice. He genuinely has no IQ.
No.
Like a plant genuinely has more functional IQ than him. It's so, I don't know what's wrong with him. I mean, it has to be like a disease that nobody knows about. Like what it's really called.
Yeah, he looks so fucked up that I got to imagine it's like fetal alcohol syndrome type thing of like birth defects.
It's fetal everything syndrome.
Yeah.
I mean, he has to have like a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
It's not just one thing.
His mom was inserting needles. There's like that scene in like, what's that movie where they're stabbing through the roof and it's like, oh my God. Like,
he's got fetal heroin syndrome, fetal cocaine syndrome, fetal fentanyl syndrome.
He gives a great performance in Spring Breakers. Or no, not Spring Breakers. What's it called? Girls Gone Dead.
Oh, okay.
Girls Gone Dead.
Do you know he's in Bubble Boy with Jake Gyllenhaal?
No.
Do you know what that movie is?
Yeah.
Bizarre movie that you couldn't make today where Jake Gyllenhaal is raised by these like hypochondriac parents and is just in like one of those giant like plastic balls you see at like a state fair you can go into and roll around in, and Beetlejuice is just in it. He's part of like a traveling circus. Like Jake Gyllenhaal gets like on a train car in his bubble and Beetlejuice is like, man, they're coming. And he's like, hey, I'm Bubble Boy. And he goes,
he's great. Isn't he in Spider-Man? Or is that another guy? You know when Donnell Rollins is like, he just took that guy's pizza. And then Jim Norton's like, he stinks and I don't like him. There's all those like montages of comedians like saying their thoughts on Spider-Man as New Yorkers.
How many takes, if it was Beetlejuice, how many takes do you think it took for him to be like, hey, Spider-Man?
We want you to say 3 words.
And just 50 takes of him going, yeah, go camera, on camera. They're like, Beetle, stop.
He's the best. I love him.
I love him so much. If we can get you on, Beat, please. We'll call your people. We'll trick you somehow.
He's also, isn't he like I know he's short, but isn't he technically like a midget type?
Yes.
Like his body he's like 3 feet tall, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So he's probably going to die. They don't live long, you know.
Them? Yeah.
They don't. All of the types of people he is don't live long, so his odds aren't great.
It's an average age of 13. He's on borrowed time right now.
Yeah, the amount of problems compound. Like, we got to reach out to him soon. I like to call him Beat.
Well, enough of that. Caleb, for the first time ever, we failed an episode.
Kind of second time. We failed Edmund, although then we did it the next day.
Yeah, failed in the sense that we set out to do something, and I don't count not being able to record, because if we're just like, completely fucked.
We failed the prep.
We failed the prep, and so we decided, hey, Brian De Palma, a prestige filmmaker for some of his career, not even half. You got 2 movies that are considered really good.
Yeah.
Black Dahlia and, was it?
Mission to Mars.
Mission to Mars. I almost said Passion. Widely regarded as some of his worst shit he's ever made.
Oh, yeah.
And we planned to do the Disease double feature. And I don't know why we thought we could get away with that, because we were doing a drinking game as well. Mm-hmm. We got through Black Dahlia. Quote unquote got through. Some of us got through it. Mm-hmm. Some of us were awake the entire time.
I think I was awake for a cumulative like 85%. I dozed off near the end and then woke up and the climax happened. I was like, wait, what? And then you guys were like, they found the Black Dahlia, who is the victim, by the way.
Yes.
But in my drunken stupor, I was like, that makes sense. It was her the whole time. Yeah.
This is a very bizarre movie. I have to say we watched this with our friend Chris and Nick, who was in the War of the Worlds weapons video. Mm-hmm. The drunkest I've ever seen Nick, by the way. He told a really funny story. So I'd say about like halfway or 2/3 through, we were getting fucked up. And he was like, guys, I'm going to go in the bathroom and lay down. And we're like, all right, Nick, cool. And then after like 10 minutes, we were just like, we'll be good friends and check. We'll give him some time. And this is how he tells the story, is that you, Caleb, went to the door and then he was completely fine up until this point, just leaned over the toilet. You knocked on it so loud that he threw up.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even have memory of this, so I can't speak to it. I think the fear was setting in or something or whatever. Like, I think I broke his trance.
Because I could hear it from the couch. Is like you go and you're just like, Nick, and then I just hear, ah! It was violently loud.
The night didn't. I feel like, by the way, wasn't he throwing up like halfway through the movie?
Yeah, but to be fair, he did have a lot.
No, I know we all did, but what I'm saying is like that is kind of the point in the night where my memory becomes foggy, and I think we weren't even half. I think we were about halfway through the first of two films. The project this was designed to be. This should have been like our peak episode because probably have mentioned it before, but Mission to Mars and The Black Dahlia, among other movies, some of which we've done episodes on, are kind of the original core disease movies. And The Black Dahlia, Mission to Mars came out first, and it was a huge bomb. The Black Dahlia was like 6 years later, and big budget, and it's a big property, and the movie had been in development forever, and it was an even bigger bomb, and it was even more badly reviewed, I think, even though it is a better movie than Mission to Mars. And it was just like, okay, De Palma, your career is over. It's the last time that he was able to make a movie in the Hollywood system. I watched The Black Dahlia alone once, and I remembered it being just like horrifically bad. I watched Mission to Mars when I was extremely young. I remember it being bad even as a kid. Chris and I were like, let's be diabolical. We'll do this. Then it kind of morphed into let's do a sipping game for it. We came up with way too many categories. Yes,
we had like 10 or 12 for each movie.
Yeah, and almost all of them happened like constantly. I was hydrating with beer. I had a Hydro Flask that I was keeping full with like 2.5 beers.
That's right. You were pre-gaming, funny enough.
I was pre-gaming and then like was kind of a little surprised when I blacked out later. I remember that we all finished our drinks probably like 20 minutes in. I don't think the Black Dahlia was dead yet, right?
No. So this is very interesting. So Black Dahlia, real murder case. The woman is the Black Dahlia in question. You don't see that happen. First of all, really at all. But it just happens like a third into the movie. This is what I love about this movie. If you didn't tell somebody that this was about the Black Dahlia murder, they wouldn't know for 30 minutes. It starts with Josh Hartnett, the guy from Trap and other stuff that, isn't famous, just being a boxer. And then he's just boxing Two-Face, the guy who plays Two-Face in The Dark Knight. And they're just boxing. They're just being cops and be like, hey, we're cops in LA. What the fuck? And then 30 minutes in, a guy's like, oh, so the Black Dahlia just got murdered.
Yeah. Okay. So I did some research into this and I found out I'm so happy to share this with you. I don't even know where to start. I'm so excited. So in the movie, at the moment in which the Black Dahlia's body is discovered, it not only feels, it just is completely random. The main characters of the movie who are warrant chasers.
Warrants, like people are like they cash in on people's warrants, I think. Who like jump bail or something.
I can't remember. Something involving it doesn't even matter. When the Black Dahlia's body is found, it's because there is a random warrant being served to like a pimp or something and a shootout ensues. And then since the cops are there for that, they happen to overhear that like a block away, this woman is like, oh my God, the Black Dahlia's body is in this ditch. And you're like, wait, what? Like it tracks. When you're watching the movie, you go like, wait, this can't be all it is. I found online the behind the scenes featurette of the making of this movie. And De Palma famously has multiple like terrible ideas in his movies where when you watch the featurettes or listen to, behind the scenes, he'll talk about how it was his idea. He goes, yeah, I wasn't trying to do this thing. So then I watched Touch of Evil and there was a rape scene in it. And I went, that was one of the first rape scenes in cinema. I should put a rape scene in my movie. That's actually how the rape and I think Femme Fatale entered his movie. And it's like comes out of nowhere. It makes no sense. He just has an idea and he goes, you know what? I'll just throw that in. He talked about, he's like, yeah, we were trying to adapt the book and apparently the story is just so like such a wide scope that they were having trouble trying to figure out how to make it work in a movie narrative, a traditional kind of detective narrative. And De Palma's like, what'd be cool is if there was a shootout and then the camera just went up over this building and you just see the Black Dahlia and that's how it's connected. So it's just his idea.
Because that's exactly what happens. And I was losing my mind because like you said, they're serving a warrant at the most just obvious old like 1930s set of all time.
Yes.
And a shootout happens and then they're just, this is the funniest thing. So yeah, like you said, camera just goes all the way up into the sky and is just like, hey, that field over there, a murder just happened. And then some big, like, you know, kind of large police investigator is just with the press surrounding him. And he's just like, all right, guys, you know, this is the Black Dahlia murder. It's going to be famous. And they're like, what are you talking about? It's 1930. And then Josh Hartnett and Two-Face come over from the building over. And the guy is like starting. He's like, where'd you guys come from? It's like, you didn't see the police shoot out literally at the building behind you.
Doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense logically. And this was the first thing where I'm just like, wait, hold on. This might be one of the worst films of all time.
I was giggling when the movie started. The opening shot is Josh Hartnett. I think probably most people don't even know that name. You mentioned Trap. I think that Black Hawk Down is like the like star making thing for him.
Is he really? Okay.
And then he's the main guy from Black Hawk Down. So if you've seen that movie, the guy on the cover, the kid, like Josh Hartnett has. Oh, and he was in Pearl Harbor too. The Michael Bay. So he had that like it thing. He was like the Chalamet, but you know, unlike Chalamet, had like the square jaw, like Mr. America kind of actor.
Sure.
Movie starts with him just like, I think taping up his wrists or something, about to go box. And it's like this De Palma-esque, like very long zoom shot. And him trying to look grizzled, but he looks 13. Like, you know what I mean? He's one of the people who has a baby face. Mm-hmm. I was laughing hysterically because I remembered, oh yeah, this movie starts with, for no reason, him and Two-Face are new partners. They box, and they box insanely aggressively with each other. Two-Face is like trying to kill him, punches his teeth out, punches his two front teeth out. They go flying. And then the next scene, they put this little plastic like clip in his mouth with new teeth, and they go, oh yeah, you're a movie star quality like looks now, and fine. And we're investigating the Black Dahlia.
It makes no sense that they're instantly paired with each other because they're called Mr. Fire and Mr. Ice. Do you remember that?
No.
It's on the poster. It goes, hey, Josh Hartnett, you're Mr. Fire, and Two-Face, you're Mr. Ice. Go ahead and fight now. And then Hartnett loses his undefeated streak or whatever, his record. And then he's like, oh, cool, I got put in my place. Time to find Black Dahlia. But actually, no, it's time to just serve warrants with Two-Face for like 20 minutes.
He invites Josh Hartnett over to his house, and he's dating Scarlett Johansson. Yep. Two-Face and Scarlett Johansson are an item, and they have like a throuple kind of flirtatious dinner. Mm-hmm. They don't do anything, but there's like a sexual... There's a thing of like, okay, Hartnett's gonna fuck.
Yeah. You know? I have some problems with how this movie is presented before we get like too much in trying to remember what the plot was, because it's genuinely impossible.
Yeah.
So in real life, the Black Dahlia murder, the woman was a Black Dahlia. That was her nickname, or what the press nicknamed her when it happened. Mm-hmm. And then after that, there were some more murders, or perhaps copycat killers that had written like BD or carved it into was it BD carved into the Black Dahlia's body?
I don't remember if it was carved into her in real life or the movie, but in the movie, ScarJo has BD, which are the initials of her ex-boyfriend, Bobby DeWitt.
Yes, and this is where, because I knew about the Black Dahlia murders, or the murder and the subsequent ones, and I saw that and I said, wait, hold on, that didn't happen. Mm-hmm. This is taking an extreme liberty with the case. So I see BD carved into her. By the way, this is a bizarre scene. She's like at the top of the stairs in her bathroom, and Josh Hartnett is just like staring at her. She's getting undressed with the door open for like immediately, like no reason. Like they don't really set up her being like a seductress.
Yeah, no,
she's quick.
Yeah, she's not trying to like entice him. She is changing in her. She's half naked. She's in her underwear, and he is at the bottom of the stairs. She doesn't know he's looking at her, and she is like getting something out of the cabinet, bending over, and he just sees, and there's like the perfect like movie quality scar on her back. Huge BD. I want to add, by the way, our sipping game like criteria, most of it was thought up by Chris. I suggested that we do a sip every time they say the name of quote unquote that guy, because I couldn't remember Bobby DeWitt. And Chris is like, what are you talking about? I was like, remember that guy's name they say a million times? He's like, no. We started the movie. Thank God we didn't have it as as one of our things, because they say Bobby DeWitt like 110 times in this movie. Bobby DeWitt, you're looking for Bobby DeWitt? I haven't seen Bobby DeWitt since I was with Bobby DeWitt. I think, if I recall from when we read the Wikipedia, Bobby DeWitt is the ex-boyfriend of ScarJo who abused her, and then Two-Face said, I can win your heart by killing him. But then apparently, and I don't know if they say this in the movie and we missed it, apparently they do something to like frame him to send him to jail or something. And Two-Face like steals his assets. And that's how he's rich.
I literally don't remember that. At all.
The next morning, we were trying to understand it on Wikipedia and really hungover just reading paragraphs of dense description. Apparently, the book is good and it all makes sense. And, the movie also is 2 hours long and apparently was supposed to be closer to 3. So it might not be De Palma's fault that it's so incomprehensible.
I guess so, because take a book like Killers of the Flower Moon, for instance. Like, that's a good book, and it delves into a lot of, like, the just, like, police procedural stuff. And the movie is 3.5 hours long. Mm-hmm. And even then, it doesn't get all the stuff that I wanted from the book into the film. I can't imagine what was cut, like, or what De Palma thought the runtime was going to be. Because this would have to make sense, probably be, like, 4 hours long. Because at the end of the movie, I was like, wait, hold on, why is it ending this way? And then I woke up in the morning and went to the Wikipedia, read the last paragraph of the plot, and I said, wait, why is it ending this way? It still doesn't make sense sober.
I can maybe illuminate a little bit about the just completely incomprehensible story being adaptable. Mm-hmm. Okay, so James Ellroy, the author of the novel The Black Dahlia, he wrote this series of books called the LA Quartet that are all about murders in LA being investigated. They're all traditional kinds of stories that you would get made in Hollywood all the time in the 40s and 50s. His novels take place in that era of when those Hollywood Humphrey Bogart detective movies are being made, but they are like, okay, let's have the people actually say fuck and, talk the way people talked back then or,
sure.
Whatever. And they're really well-regarded books. And the third in the series, LA Confidential, was turned into a movie in 97 that is everything Black Dahlia is trying to be and should be. It's really long. I think it's like well over 2.5 hours, if I remember correctly. It condenses the book, adapts it the way that you want books to be adapted correctly, where the main story is there and changes are made, but you watch the movie and you feel like you got a complete story. You have an interesting mystery. It uses elements of LA like murder history, and not that LA Confidential is claiming to be and using names of real people, but it is based also, I think, on like an actual investigation of these like plastic surgeons or something. I forget. It's been a long time since I've seen LA Confidential. This movie, The Black Dahlia, was probably going to get the same treatment. You mentioned De Palma, and you're like, well, how long did he think this was probably going to be? Apparently, this thing was supposed to be like about 3 hours. That was the director's cut he turned in. And James Ellroy, who was proud of the movie LA Confidential, has seen the 3-hour version of Black Dahlia, and he was like, oh, this is great. I love this. He was very happy with it. And he's like, they did a great job. Oh my God, 2 for 2 with my movie adaptations. And then when the studio watched it and they were like, we can't sell as many tickets if it's a longer movie. So, make it 2 hours and incomprehensible. When they trimmed it down, James Ellroy like disowned it. And so the movie, as much as I don't really love Brian De Palma, the movie, like the problems with it, knowing that, really can't be blamed, I think, too much on him outside of like I mentioned earlier, the nonsensical thing where it's like, hey, I got an idea. What if we introduce the plot in the most fashion possible? It's going to have everyone scratching their heads. Like,
there are some plot elements that definitely are just his fault, or way scenes are shot that I think are just like way too silly. Like there's like a pile driver scene, which we'll get to later. Yes. So that actually kind of makes me feel a lot better about Brian De Palma, because I do like his older stuff, So this isn't like a Spike Lee Old Boy situation where Spike Lee disowned Old Boy. He specifically didn't write a Spike Lee joint on that one because 50 minutes of Old Boy got cut out. But the problem with that is everything that you already see in Old Boy is just shot like shit, already doesn't make any sense. The performances are bad, looks terrible. And more plot wouldn't have fixed the problems with it. Comparing that to the Park Chan-wook one, where it's honestly the same length, but just has plot elements. And Spike Lee's like, it's interesting about that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try our thing. And you're like, why, Spike? So, and I mean, we can just agree here. De Palma's a better filmmaker than Spike Lee, obviously,
easily.
I mean, I don't even think that's controversial to say.
No, and I don't really even like any of Brian De Palma's movies. And I actually do like a couple of Spike Lee's, but on average, way better. De Palma's way better.
In terms of craft,
if you literally grabbed anything either of them have worked on, your chances of getting something that's entertaining are way higher with De Palma.
Oh, sure.
To me, Black Dahlia, almost everything that I dislike about it is kind of, we'll never know because there is no way to see the 3-hour version. You could, I can imagine in my mind probably really enjoying the regular version, because almost everything I hate about it isn't really with the pieces that you can already see. You mentioned with Spike Lee, like, all the existing footage of Old Boy we can watch is also terrible. It's kind of like the way I picture it is like if you built a Lego model of like the Empire State and then somebody just took a third of it away. You still have a Lego model that looks kind of cool. It's just not complete picture because we're missing pieces. Spike Lee's thing is like, well, instead of Lego pieces, I put shit in ice cube trays and then I stacked them up and it's like, well, I don't really care how tall this gets. All of the acting is bad. Every line of dialogue is bad. The camera is always in the wrong place. It looks horrific. Black Dahlia, I don't love the cinematography. Chris found out. I didn't know this. It was nominated for the Oscar for Best Cinematography, which is kind of wild. I don't love it. It is like, it's fine for what it is. I don't like the style of it where it's like basically monochromatic, like sepia toned kind of thing. Whatever. They're doing a stylistic thing. Mm-hmm. Okay.
The camera movement in this is insane. One of our drinking things was the camera moving on like 2 or more axes.
Yes.
And it's really funny because it will just like, pan and then push forward and then also just raise up into the sky for no reason. And you're like, wait, hold on. Why did you think this would look good, Brian?
Yes. Brian De Palma, he's a huge hack. Not as a negative pejorative per se, but he is just in the most basic definition. Like everything he does is just something that Orson Welles or Alfred Hitchcock did in a movie. And he went, I could just do that. He loves having the camera always be mobile and moving, zooming, whatever. Most people who love his movies love that about him. People who hate his movies, in my experience from just kind of observing a lot of criticism about him, because I find De Palma to be a very like interesting, polarizing figure. He is a love him or hate him director to a lot of cinephiles. Most people who take issues with his movies take issues that I also take of like, well, I really don't feel like any of these actors are in the same movie with each other. Even his like good movies, they often have kind of weird and bad and hammy performances. And it just seems like De Palma doesn't really care about having like a unified thing. It's really just like, well, hey, did you see that shot? Did you see how the camera went through, like it was on the street and then it was on a crane that went up through a window and then turned around and zoomed out, looking out the window. It's like, okay, that's cool that you were able to choreograph that, but I'm not here for that.
Yeah. The perfect example of this is in a movie that I like of his called Dress to Kill. With Nancy Allen, who got nominated or maybe I think won the Razzie for worst performance, which is undeserved because she's okay in that.
For Dress to Kill?
Yeah.
That's them being haters for real.
Yes, fuck the Razzies. But there are performances in there that are completely fine. And then there's one cop that's interviewing Nancy Allen, who's the most like Bo Dietl-esque, just New York cop, where he goes, some broad gets killed, what do you want me to do? Oh, he literally does that.
Dennis Franz.
And I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? And he's in there for like 2 scenes, and the movie goes on. I'm like, so hold on, Brian. You thought that was like tonally compatible with everything else that's been happening. And if there's any De Palmas I would recommend, I haven't seen a lot, I would recommend Blowout and Dress to Kill. If you like thrillers, those are good movies. And that's a Yob recommendation. Those are very solid. I mean, you have to handle some blood if that's not your thing, but I feel like everybody listening to this can. Both pretty great movies. But Blowout was the first movie where I realized he kind of has some pacing problems, where sometimes scenes just go on like, or they happen way too quickly or just like way too slow. I would also recommend Body Double. I got super drunk and threw up to that, but it was a really good time.
The 80s were his best time.
Yes, for sure. Oh, absolutely, for sure.
Yeah.
But he does have some pacing problems. Sometimes he's like, I just need to get the scene out and done. It's like, well, maybe if you just let the actors like chill, lower the tempo a little bit, this would land better.
Yeah.
And I don't think Black Dahlia, that's not its main problem, which I was pleasantly surprised by. I feel like the scenes happen at the tempo that I thought even I personally would direct them, like the way characters talk and people get like stabbed or killed. It's just that everything you see doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think we need to get trending. Release the De Palma cut of Black Dahlia.
Yes.
Genuinely, because I want to see what it was like. I would also want to see what Spike Lee's Old Boy was like. I mean, I wouldn't rewatch it, but I think it should be out there. It's one of those things where it's like, I hate lost media, so show me everything that happened on the cutting room floor. I mean, hey, we reviewed Dirty Work back in our early days, and the Vinegar Syndrome release has the full work print. You can watch the entire thing. They cut 30 minutes out.
Yeah. No, Barry Old Boy. Barry Spike Lee's Old Boy. I can't bring myself to
I won't defend Spike Lee's Old Boy. Yeah.
No, I don't think you are. I want to be on the side of good and say, yes, release the, but I just hate him so much that I kind of, it's like Stuckman. I'm like, I'm a little happy. It's like, take your punishment because you're bad. And
you should.
So much evil gets rewarded in this earth. world, this timeline, in this earth. So I can't in good conscience say a good word about him, but I would say De Palma's movies, this movie, one of the big problems outside of the fact that too many scenes were cut out is that all of the actors don't have chemistry with each other.
Yeah.
And De Palma's movies that are, I guess, crossover hits where not only cinephiles can like them, stuff like Blowout, maybe Dressed to Kill, although that is kind of, I don't think that's as popular with like normal people, but
no,
you know,
not really.
It could be if they sat through it and they weren't like squeamish about, I guess, what is probably considered some pretty tone deaf subject matter.
Yeah, if you watched it in current year with your friends who weren't cool, they would have extreme problems with some stuff that happens in Dressed to Kill.
And I don't think that's even the movie. I think that's really just people not being comfortable with the thing that is being shown, because it's an example. It's a movie where it's like, oh my God, you're depicting these people as this thing. It's like, well, you're depicting this one person as that.
It's not
you know,
it's not as egregious as people think. If you're pretty even tempered and can like separate, you know, art from stuff happening in real life, you'd be like, oh, I get it. Maybe I don't agree with that, or I find it like, but yeah.
And we're being vague also because it is a spoiler. if you knew what the controversial thing is going in, you're going to be able to guess it very quickly.
I mean, they do talk about it like within the first act of the film, I think, but I do want to leave it vague. They talk about it broadly.
We could cut this. Doesn't it start with like that?
Yes, and like the kind of like they do mention in a phone call like halfway through that it's a
and that's and I think if you go in knowing that, you're going to be like, okay, wait, I'm watching, and then it's like, oh.
Okay, yeah, we can get that, yeah.
Anyway, with these movies that people like that kind of cross over, the De Palma movies that are popular with cinephiles and mainstream audiences, which I guess Untouchables might be, although I don't like it that much. That's like definitely in his top 3, like most liked mainstream movie, but
sure,
to me it's kind of bad. I that's another movie where I think all the actors are in different movies with each other. Like Kevin Costner is terrible in that movie. Sometimes it just kind of works. It's like Star Wars a little bit. It's like you get good actors together, and even if the director is bad, it's like they can kind of just pull it off. Like when you watch the prequels, almost any scene with Obi-Wan or Palpatine, it's like, this is fun because they're just kind of, they can be in a scene without any direction and still be compelling and kind of feel like they're in a cadence with the other actors. So even though Natalie Portman is kind of bad in it, it's like, Ewan McGregor's acting kind of makes her acting better.
They can play off each other.
Kind of meet her on her level. And when you watch Dressed to Kill, like with Michael Caine in it, or Blowout with John Travolta doing probably one of his better roles.
I would agree.
At least when he was younger. Or Body Double, or even Scarface, Pacino. Like some people hate that performance. Like, you know, he is swinging for the fences. Sometimes that can kind of get you through. But in stuff like Black Dahlia, it's like, okay, we got Trap, and he's boring as fuck.
Yeah.
We got Two-Face overacting the shit out of his role. We got Scarlett Johansson, who, similar to Natalie Portman in the prequels, is like, okay, you're young, you haven't really like come into your own yet, and you're miscast in like this very grown-up role.
She's really
you
boring.
Look like a child.
Yeah.
And it's like she doesn't really know what she's doing. We have $1 Million Baby. We have the Troon from $1 Million Baby. What's her name?
Hilary Swank?
Yeah, Hilary Swank.
The Troon?
Yeah. You don't know about this?
No. What are you talking about?
Oh my God. Hilary Swank is a dude.
No, she's not.
Yes.
Hilary Swank is not a dude.
Originally, yes.
Born Hilton Swank? I don't know. There's no way. You're gaslighting.
I'm not gaslighting. Do you know about Boys Don't Cry?
Oh, that movie about the real life trans woman that got murdered.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know about that movie. I don't think you're telling me Hilary Swank was born a dude with penis?
Yes.
No.
I've seen the movie.
You've seen her with penis?
I've seen Boys Don't Cry, and I'm telling you, she's a man.
Okay, well, hold on. What does that mean?
She has penis in it.
Well, Caleb, there's something called movie magic. There's something called prosthetics.
That's a lot of movie magic she's packing down there.
Yeah, it's possible. Because when that movie come out, 90s?
99, yeah.
It's definitely possible that she has just prosthetic penis on.
Anything's possible in Hollywood. I'm just saying this is what is. There's what's possible and then there's what is.
Do you have insider? Is this breaking on Yob?
This is breaking news.
That Hilary Swank has a penis?
Yes.
I don't think that's true.
It is 100% true.
I think that's like 10% true. I think there's maybe some truth to it, but I don't think that's...
You're going to feel so dumb when you Google this.
When I Google Hilary Swank born Michael. Yeah, no.
She doesn't have breasts. Did you notice that?
Well, a lot of women are flat-chested.
This flat-chested?
Yeah.
Okay.
She didn't get enough protein growing up.
Okay.
She was like Audrey Hepburn. She was like born during like in like a concentration camp or something. And
that is a really obscure reference. What are you talking about?
No, she wasn't. Audrey Hepburn, the reason why she was so malnourished was because it was like she was raised in like the Netherlands during World War II. That's why she's so tiny and frail. That's a true fact. Not like Hilary Swank's penis, which doesn't exist.
Hilary Swank is a man. Hashtag Hilary Swank is a man. Was born a man. Cisgender male.
It's a long hashtag.
But she is the femme fatale of this movie. She's the what do you call it? Seductive. I'm crashing here. Wow, I can't.
Because you have penis on the brain.
I keep
She's the seductress. Penis. She's the femme fatale, which is a Brian De Palma film. Maybe you have that.
She's in it.
She's the Phantom of the Paradise in this.
Let me start over. So we watched The Black Dahlia, which is a 2006 film. Anyway, Hilary Swank is in it. She's terrible, and she's a good actress. She never really had a great career, despite the fact that she is like pretty talented. She's a 2-time Oscar winner for those 2 movies we're mentioning, Boys Don't Cry and $1 Million Baby, deservedly. He's great, but Harry Potter's aunt is also in the movie. And
oh, yeah.
There's also this guy, I think his name was George. There's a dude with crazy eyes. It's kind of like De Palma's movies are kind of like Safdie in terms of the faces of the casting, where they're interesting faces, but none of them feel like they're in the same universe.
Like Billy Drago in The Untouchables from Mysterious Skin.
Yeah.
And you're just like, whoa, this guy looks insane. But it doesn't really match with like the 1940s face they're trying to do. Or a 30s face in Untouchables. Like Kevin Costner and like Sean Connery, it's like, sure. And then you have like, what's his name? Ryan Garcia?
Andy Garcia,
sorry.
Yeah.
You look at those people and you're just like, wait, you were not in an actual movie. Like, the perfect example I'll say is the guy who plays the new Superman, who is in Pearl, who kind of has that like Don Draper-esque voice. He makes sense to cast in a 1940s movie because he just has the look. But then if you cast like, I don't know, Bella Thorne in like a 30s period drama, you'd be like, wait, hold on. This makes no sense. She doesn't have the face.
All of the actors in this movie look like modern people. Exactly. You're very aware they're actors in costumes on a set. One other thing I learned from watching the behind the scenes featurette is that this movie was not filmed in America. Only some exteriors were done in LA. Most of it was, I think, Bulgaria.
Yes.
They found some, you know about this?
Because this was something I saw when we were recovering from our hangovers, where it was like, it was filmed in some country that didn't make sense. And it probably was for a tax credit because a lot of Steven Seagal movies are filmed in like Bulgaria, Romania, and it's because they can just write it off. Or they basically pay you production cost of like, hey, just film here, film in Budapest.
Yeah, they did. It was a massive production. They did a huge redressing of this little town to make it look like the period in LA. I would say that they mostly pulled it off because while watching it, it's not obvious when they switched from shooting in Hollywood to shooting in Bulgaria.
I would agree.
But it does look off. It's hard to even really say why. This is a really good disease movie because when you watch it, you just feel like it's like Blue Velvet. Like everything's normal, but everything's wrong. You're watching it going, oh, I don't like, I can picture what the idea is, but I don't like how this is done. I don't like who these actors are. I'm not with it. I don't connect with anybody. I don't feel any kind of like drive to solve this murder. You mentioned earlier that someone could watch this and not know it's about the Black Dahlia to 30 minutes in. I would argue you could watch this almost through to the end. You could watch this with a very smart, highly focused person who's not drinking. You tell them, just watch this movie and just, stick with it. I would contend they could watch almost all of it. And near the end, you say, okay, pause the movie. Give me your assessment. What is the plot up to this point? And they wouldn't really be able to connect the dots, though. Because when we're watching the movie, even before we were that drunk, like, once the boxing is over and they're investigating the murder, it's just scene after scene of Josh Hartnett in a weirdly overlit room talking to a woman who's just... And they're mentioning names of people you haven't seen. You can't really piece anything together because when I found out the assassin from the middle of the movie is named George, I learned that from the featurette because they're mentioning George. I'm like, who the fuck is George? Turns out that was him. The movie fails at helping you, like giving you a guiding hand at any point of like, okay, here's your main characters. They're going to investigate this murder. You're not really sure what they think of any of the people they're investigating, who they trust, who they don't. You feel like you're on the outside. The whole thing is like a cipher.
Yes, there are also moments of the movie that, I mean, I guess if an hour got cut out of this, it would make more sense if they set something up. There's a scene where Josh Hartnett just goes to a park and abducts a woman.
Yeah.
It seems like that, by the way, because they don't set up like anything he needs to do. He's just at a park and some lady like stares at him and he's just like, hey, come back. And the guy's like, hey, he's trying to abduct her. He's trying to rape. And then he's just like, I need to talk to you about Black Dahlia. He's like, okay. And it's like, wait, hold on. Who is this? By the way, they don't set it up.
Yeah. Josh Hartnett is just, I think it might be the Bobby DeWitt scene where he sees the scars on ScarJo. He's just like doing something, living his life, no leads, no nothing going on. And then for no reason, it cuts to a shot of a park and there's a woman. She looks like near the camera and goes, and starts running. Josh Hartnett just sprints past the camera.
In broad daylight.
Tackles her. And he's holding up his badge. He's like, I am allowed to do this.
I'm allowed
who the fuck is this?
I'm allowed to accost this woman because I'm a police officer. Yeah.
And then he talks to her, learns something, tells Two-Face about it, which leads to the best scene in the movie. I also found this out from the featurette. So while watching it, there's a scene where the two cops go to this like library looking building. There's some major piece of architecture. I really don't know what that place was.
Is this the staircase scene?
Yes.
Okay.
It could be a hotel. It could be a library. It could be the state capitol.
It could be anywhere. I genuinely don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is. I found out from the featurette that this scene is Two-Face tricking Josh Hartnett into going there for official business because Two-Face is actually trying to kill somebody who implicates Two-Face in this stealing money from Bobby DeWitt plot. No idea how that fits in.
Can I just say something for people who may be listening and confused? If it sounds like we're jumping around and it doesn't make sense, we are not.
We're not.
This movie has just like disparate scenes that do not really connect to each other in any way besides, the Black Dahlia is like an overarching like investigation. Yeah. At a certain point, they're just like Two-Face is like, I'm going to be kind of like shady now.
Yeah.
And then Josh Hartnett is just like, all right, I'm going to try to fuck Scarlett Johansson. And by the way, a woman got super murdered and we're not really doing anything about it. And then there's like some weird like assassin who looks like the guy from Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yes, he does. Yes, he looks like the Nazi all in black.
Yeah.
The guy whose face melts. Exactly. A dude who looks like that and also Billy Drago. Isn't that his name? He just comes out of the shadows and cuts Two-Face's throat. And Josh Hartnett, Trap is at the bottom of the stairs. And Two-Face is like, oh my God. He calls out his name. Throat gets cut. He's still alive. He's wrestling with the guy on this ledge. Then this shadowy figure comes out of nowhere. Oh, no. The shadowy figure cuts his throat. George is just like wrestling with him. Shadowy figure comes out of nowhere, pulls out a switchblade, cuts his throat. But Two-Face is still alive. Hartnett is running up the stairs. And then for no reason, Two-Face throws himself off the staircase.
Yeah. And he does like a pile driver down 4 flights of stairs.
And in typical De Palma fashion, just like the staircase scene in Untouchables, the slow motion with the baby carriage going down the stairs.
Oh, yeah.
That gunfight where it's like, this doesn't need to be slow motion. And this actually looks really cheesy when it's slow-mo. Typical De Palma fashion, we go into bad slow-mo. They are falling forever down this staircase. Harvey Dent lands head first in this fountain, and then it immediately like fills with blood. It looked just like the ending of Scarface, actually.
Yeah.
And they mentioned that in the featurette too, and I was like, oh my God. But he just explodes immediately. And also the fountain has like a really like pointy like ceramic spire in the middle of it, which I think George gets impaled on and like splits in half.
It's a very ceremonial death, and I don't hate how it looks, but it's so bizarre compared to the tone of the movie.
Very violent, very comical, and George Hartnett is like, oh my God. And then it just cuts to, like, we don't know if he tried to chase off those bad guys. It just cuts to later that night, and they have Harvey Dent in front of a furnace, and they're like, all right, we're about to burn his body to, quote, get rid of evidence. And we were all like, wait, why do you have to do that?
Yeah.
I think they're in the basement of the building where he died. Now his body is, like, perfectly intact, and he just has, like, a scar on his cheek, but he's just, unconscious because he's dead. And at this moment, you asked, is he alive?
Because, okay, in my defense, at the time, I was like, his body definitely has to just be soup at this point, realistically. I'm like, why is he just, like, no makeup on and, like, lying on a gurney? Yeah. And I was absolutely just, like, drunk as a skunk. But that was a point where I'm just like, what is going on?
I remember that we were like, no, he died when he fell off the thing. And I think we were drunk enough. You get to that point where even though you're looking at the screen, like, physics in the movie start to kind of match yours, where, like, everything's spinning and moving. I could be misremembering, but I think you said something akin to like, wait, did he fall from high enough? And then we were all like unsure all of a sudden. We're like, wait, actually, let's rewind. And then we watched it and he falls and it like couldn't be more obvious, but we were just all so drunk. He falls so far and fucking explodes.
He falls for a minute of screen time. It's kind of crazy how much slow-mo they use. Yeah. Like he'll fall. Like, they didn't edit it correctly. He'll fall, like, down one flight of stairs, and it'll just be, like, a shot of just Hartnett going, oh, my God. And then he'll just be back at that same flight of stairs. And then it's like a perfect dummy falling, like, you know, guided by a wire. Yes. Perfectly straight on. There's no, like, body sprawling out. It's like, why is he doing, like, the perfect, like, Spider-Man? Did you ever play that Spider-Man game, like Spider-Man 2, where you could just pile drive the people, and it was perfectly, like, rigid? Like, animation. People who played it will know. Basically, what I'm trying to say is it looks too perfect, and it goes on for way too long, that just becomes funny. It's not scary or like thrilling.
It is not that different from the scene in Monty Python and the Holy Grail where John Cleese is running at the castle for like 5 minutes.
It takes as long as that.
Yeah. Anyway, after Harvey Dent is dead and they burn the body, Hartnett just fucks around and finds a reel to a film. And they show, this is not the real footage, but they show like recreated behind the scenes footage of the Black Dahlia, the murder victim, who was like this wannabe actress doing an audition. One of Chris's criteria was that there would be a cameo in the movie. And I was like, what cameo? He's like, Caleb, you'll know when it happens.
Yeah.
And the girl is doing a take and delivering her dialogue. And then the director's like, cut, that was terrible. And we were all like, oh my God.
Yes.
Do you want to say it?
Yes. And I do have to say it's really funny because everybody else in this movie knows how to like deliver dialogue on screen. And this cameo is like, yeah, and it's Brian De Palma.
It's the director's voice. He's doing a cameo as the director of a porno. And he sounds like he's reading his lines off a cue card.
And this is when I realize why Scorsese just does visual cameos in a lot of his movies. Like in Age of Innocence, he's just like a photographer and like pretty much every other thing besides Taxi Driver and Killers of the Flower Moon. But yeah, he doesn't know how to deliver his own lines, which he probably wrote or at least signed off on, and was like, ugh.
He's playing the one role you should know how to play.
Exactly, just giving somebody direction.
He's like, no, wait, come back over here. You're supposed to be excited, so do it again excitedly. Okay, roll film. You're like, well, okay.
God damn.
He sounds defeated.
He has like Paul Schrader pug voice from years of being fat.
Dude, and they have beef, and they're both like fat from the 70s and have no talent.
Ooh. Who's putting out more dog shit contemporarily?
You know, they're interesting figures to pit against each other because they both make disease movies like no one else. The stuff on their resume that's good is like unique and great, and the stuff on their resume that's bad is really, really like DNA altering level horrific.
I guess I have to compare their like new work. I guess Schrader has to win by default because First Reformed was fantastic. I can't remember. When was the last time De Palma made a good movie?
It depends on if you consider Femme Fatale good.
I haven't seen it, so no.
I feel tricky. It feels tricky to me to try to be objective or talk objectively about De Palma because the type of stuff he makes and the things he's interested in are the things I care about less than most other things. So I kind of feel like I'm not his audience. I'm not his target audience. To me, I think Femme Fatale is bad, but to people who like you would probably like it more than me at least.
Okay.
I think it's bad. I think it's just like trash, but plenty of people who like De Palma think it's at least good, if not pretty good. People have compared it to Mulholland Drive of like the way what Mulholland Drive is for David Lynch is like what Femme Fatale is for De Palma, where it's like it's his type of thing, but it's like non-linear and dreamy and yada yada.
Ooh, that sounds interesting. I kind of want to watch it now.
It's not as good as Mulholland Drive. Let me don't want to hype you up too much, but people who like De Palma, I have heard it compared to that by people who are fans of De Palma.
Oh, wow. That is an interesting hook. It's De Palma's Mulholland Drive.
I kind of get it.
That's how you sell a film.
Yeah.
That's already intrigued me, and now I'm going to pirate. I'm not going to pay him money, but I will watch it.
I would say that it is a fair comparison, keeping in mind that De Palma is no David Lynch.
Mm-hmm.
De Palma's last good movie, I don't know what, Carlito's Way? That was 93.
That's a good movie. That movie is inspired a lot of things in GTA Vice City.
Really?
So do you know the lawyer in Vice City? Have you played that?
I haven't played the game.
Okay,
yet.
so there's a lawyer in there who looks just like Sean Penn's character. He's like the Jewish like afro, and he's basically the same type of he wants more than his station allows and all that thing. And yeah, I guess that's, you know what? And also what inspired Vice City? Scarface.
Yeah.
So that's what we have De Palma to thank for. He made one of the best GTA games.
You know who wrote Scarface, by the way? Oliver Stone. I would have liked to see Oliver Stone direct it, too. His script for Scarface is really good. I mean, it is the movie pretty much, but there's a lot of like tonal decisions in Scarface that are... There's things that a director could control, theoretically, in Scarface that I think would have been better in my mind picturing how Oliver Stone makes movies. If he had directed Scarface, it would have been like perfect, you know?
Funny enough, I saw Scarface when I was like less than 10 years old, so I don't remember it that much.
Oh, really?
But I did watch Carlito's Way with Chris, and that movie is so fucking funny because Pacino's playing a Puerto Rican.
Yeah, he is.
And he's giving the most Pacino performance, and I love that. He's just like in court, and he's like, and the police tried to frame me for everything. I say, God almighty, I am free at last. And it's perfect. It's everything you want. And I'm like, okay, so De Palma still has the sauce at this point. And I guess if I'm thinking of the release order, that probably has to be the last thing I've seen or I've heard is like good. And beyond that, it goes from like mediocre to just like absolutely unwatchable.
And there isn't really that many credits too. Like it gets spaced out a lot because after Carlito's Way, he did Mission Impossible. He did Snake Eyes. He did Mission to Mars, which is like bottom 10 movies ever made.
Wow.
Then Black Dahlia, then Redacted, which Redacted is also, it's kind of like, well, he did Femme Fatale between Mission to Mars and Black Dahlia, but that's way better. I don't like it, but it's obviously better. Redacted, and then Passion, and then he did this other thing, like his last movie was like 6 years ago, and it starred Jaime from Game of Thrones, and it was made somewhere in Europe, and he's doing the Woody Allen thing, got to go to Europe now.
Okay.
All of it looks I haven't watched them. They all look bad. The last one chronologically I've seen was Redacted. That was bad. So yeah, probably Carlito's Way. So probably like 5 years before we were born was the last time De Palma did something worth watching.
Oh my God. Damn, that sucks. I really hate when directors like just do the John Carpenter thing where you just like basically retire and then just critique people's movies. Because I mean, Paul Schrader is still like a critic and he's just being annoying and fat and gay. And he's making dog shit most of the time. Yeah. First Reform barred from that. De Palma still, active somewhat in the scene. But John Carpenter made The Ward, which is a bad movie. It's not terrible, but it's not great. And he's like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to play like 2K and like Mass Effect for 20 years. And just like kind of sign off on like every like Halloween project. Like he's outwardly spoken, and I love him for this because it's so true. He gave his blessing because he owns the rights to Halloween for Rob Zombie to do his 2 movies. And apparently Rob Zombie's like, hey, John, can I do it? And he's like, are you going to pay me money? He's like, yeah. And he goes, yeah, sure. I'll give you my blessing, whatever. And then Rob Zombie's Halloween comes out and he goes, what a fucking piece of dog shit that was. And he's just like, John, you scored my movie. And he goes, yeah, the music was good. Yeah. So this is why I respect John Carpenter, because he said, you know what? I made a huge stinker, which basically put me off making movies after making movies that weren't great before The Ward. And then he's just like, you know what? Movies suck. I'm getting crazy royalties from like 10 movies that are just like classics in some regard. I'm just going to live off that. I don't care anymore. I'm just going to go to conventions, say, oh yeah, if you pay me $1,000, I'll tell you like who was the thing at the end of the thing. Yeah. And then he's like, whatever. I couldn't give less of a shit about filmmaking, which is why I love him, which is why he's the GOAT.
They're like Carpenter, and now that I'm thinking about it this way, Carpenter, Schrader, and De Palma are like the J. Cole, Kendrick, and Drake of like 70s, like 70 people who were good in the 70s and 80s who went on to just make kind of only shitty movies like in the 90s, 2000s, 2010s. And how you rank them is kind of like Carpenter is always, it's kind of like Like, he is the most lovable, like, personality.
Oh, yeah.
But he's made objectively, like, the third least, like, valuable art. Because Schrader and De Palma make, like, they make, quote unquote, like, real movies, But I feel like I would have a much better time hanging out with Carpenter and talking to him than Schrader because De Palma, he's admirable, but he comes off kind of unlikable to me. Mm-hmm. Dislikable. He has kind of a pompous attitude. And it's like, dude, you really haven't earned that. You're actually like kind of on thin ice, even in the good part of your career. Like you're the worst movie brat by far. And Schrader, I really don't know how to feel about him. He got Me Too'd. And I kind of believe the girl who Me Too'd him for like legit. Do you know about this from like a year ago?
I don't, but judging on how he looks, because I feel like how somebody looks, you can judge. Like Harvey Weinstein, if somebody said he, and I'm like, yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Schrader looks like a fat pug. Mm-hmm. I believe every allegation against him.
I read about it. I can open it up for you if you want to hear some. Schrader is just, I mentioned that, the Me Too thing, that's kind of tangentially related. I get the vibe that he is, like there's just more to the story than he lets on, because he speaks in kind of an unassuming way. He has some great quotes. He sometimes comes in and drops the knowledge in his like rambly Facebook posts. He gives unhinged interviews. He has likable qualities like that, at least likable to me. But he also, I think he overvalues or he has a inflated sense of how like profound his observations are of things. He'll talk in really dismissive ways about like pretty monumental works of art that are technically like, his contemporaries. So he feels like he's on their level, but it's like, Schrader, you don't have to actually say anything about Scorsese. He is probably embarrassed that he is tied to you.
Yeah.
Like I get that you guys probably are vaguely friendly and whatnot. But I got a feeling like Scorsese producing the card counter for you is just like a favor to like make you not tell stories out of school about him, which he'll do anyway, kind of. But you know what I mean? That feels like damage control. Like, I don't really feel like Schrader or De Palma are good people, and they also don't get along with each other. And they both have kind of similar opinions of like, well, I'm actually kind of doing the good work.
Yeah, I feel like most big directors are just kind of annoying to be around. And this may just be because they like talk about art too much. Like, I mean, have you seen like the tours of like Scorsese's apartment in Tribeca? No. He has the shoes from the Red Shoes and like a bunch of other like memorabilia. And you can definitely tell when he has people over, he'd be like, yeah, so right here, this is where this is the exact reel for, such. I'm just doing Bill Burr for them. But not that Scorsese is a bad person, but you could tell that if somebody wasn't into film, like you and I would have a great time with him. But somebody would be like, okay, I don't even know what like who Presserberger is or any of these people. Mm-hmm. John Carpenter, going back to that, of just like people who are actually probably, they made movies, but they're like still normal. Mm-hmm. I would say Scorsese falls into that. De Palma and Schrader are just like absolute mongoloids. Carpenter at this point is just like, I'm putting my name onto anything that's giving me money. I'm going around playing my music, selling out venues. I'm smoking weed and playing 2K. Yeah. He's one of the bros now. He's chilled out and he realized, because he doesn't like Cronenberg or John Landis at this
Carpenter?
point. Yeah.
I guess we should translate a little bit for normies. So John Carpenter made a lot of 80s horror movies that are great.
Yeah, Halloween, They Live, The Thing, to name a few of his like real big hitters.
Sci-fi, horror, and just action movies that are kind of a little campier than your like. Not he didn't make like Stallone type shit. Yeah. Like his action movies are like Escape from New York, where it's kind of, I don't even know how you explain that, but it's like very quaint and kind of nice and cozy action movies, like relaxing action movies.
It's the perfect amount of camp that general audiences could vibe with.
Yeah. And Cronenberg is a director of, I would say, a higher volume of quality works, but he makes like adult, mature movies. They have beef?
Yeah. So there's an interview that you guys can listen to on YouTube. Just like type in Carpenter Cronenberg, where there used to be this dinner they would attend called Masters of Horror, and it would be like Wes Craven, Carpenter, Cronenberg, and some other people I forget about, but he said he went to the first couple dinners and it was fun to get together with people in the industry. And then apparently he came in one time and David Cronenberg was, as he said, holding court in the middle of the room, telling a story about some bullshit. And John walks in, he's like, hey, David. And then Cronenberg just kind of like waves him off. He's like, yeah, whatever. And he's just like, oh, fuck this asshole. So he just left the dinner and never came back. And I think they kind of patched it up eventually, but he was just like, Cronenberg is like too high on himself. It's kind of not to talk about him too much, but like the Norm Macdonald thing of like, I really don't care about doing this. I'm just doing it because I like doing it. Carpenter has the same ideology where he's like, yeah, I like making horror movies. I like making thrillers, you know? Even his shit that kind of sucks, like Ghosts of Mars. Yeah. The stuff that he has some control on is still... You can see the vision, and it's not an awful time.
In my opinion, Ghosts of Mars and what's the other one he did? There's two movies in the late 90s, early 2000s that are like, holy shit, this is bad.
Memoirs of Invisible Man with Chevy Chase?
No, that was too early.
Not Christine. By the way, Christine is a movie that people overhate. I think the movie rules.
Yeah. That wasn't as good. This is like late 90s, early 2000s, early aughts.
Vampires was 90s.
Yes.
That movie rules.
Yes. Ghosts of Mars, I forget. There's something else on his discography.
Sure. Filmography.
There's something else on his list of credits that's also like, ooh, it's bad. But even those, for what they are, like, honestly, they're leagues ahead of the disease movie. Like, they're not even, in my opinion, disease movie. Like, I'd watch Ghosts of Mars and it's bad, but it doesn't hurt me. It's harmless badness where the things that are bad about it are kind of like circumstantial, and they're not the result of people just like being really lazy. At least it doesn't feel this way watching. Who knows what the actual circumstances were, but it doesn't feel like it's people being lazy and just wasting your time or doing things that hurt your head to try to process. It's kind of like, oh, this is just stupid. And, you know, like really, he is actually in a league of his own where even when he makes bad shit, it's still like kind of like,
it's charming.
I can't get mad at it. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I remember, for people who don't know behind the scenes, when we filmed our Vampires episode, that was originally going to be a commentary of us shitting on it.
Yeah.
In some sense, or it was basically me showing Caleb being like, yeah, this movie's not great, but there's some interesting moments. And then 10 minutes in, you paused the recording and pulled me aside and you're just like, we probably shouldn't do a commentary on this. Yeah. This is actually kind of okay.
It's like, can we just watch this?
Yes. And it won us over. And then like, as we went through, we're just like, oh, there are some dumb bullshit, like editing choices and some dumb plot elements. But you go through it. And even though James is dressed like a lesbian, you still watch it and you're just like, oh, I can actually see there is a craft. And I am enjoying where the plot goes compared to like, you know, the De Palma Drek where you're just like, I really don't like what's happening. Even in bad John Carpenter, you're just like, I'm along with the ride. It's not dragging, but it's not great. Which, I mean, the worst sin a movie can be is boring, in my opinion. So this is why I rate, like, for the half-a-star movies are just things that I just cannot, like, tolerate. Like, but something like The Room that actually doesn't have a terrible pacing, but is just stupid. That's not half a star to me because I'm just having fun I'm on the ride. But Carpenter's never boring, but De Palma and even Schrader are just like, there's some just snoozers.
Schrader, I honestly like him as a personality more than his work. I really don't like anything Schrader has directed outside of like 3 movies, and he's made a lot. And a lot of it hurts me. And the stuff that's good, I find very dull. And, you know, like I love what he did as a screenwriter before he was a director. He birthed Taxi Driver. He is a big reason why Raging Bull makes sense. Because the original conception of it's credited to 2 writers. And the other one, I think his name is Mardik Martin. His version of the script was a very bland, like straightforward, like I'm telling his entire life. And Schrader was the one who came in. The whole reason that Joe Pesci's character is in the movie, the brother, was Schrader, because he like read the original book that they were adapting that De Niro found. And he's like, well, I think that all these moments, like you can tell from reading this, but if you read between the lines, the brother is obviously a big part of it. I'm going to add his character in, the subplot, whatever. And it's going to be this period in his life. Like that was all Schrader. And God bless him for that.
It's a good choice.
I like Affliction. I liked First Reformed. Schrader has some scenes in other movies that are okay, but ultimately he's a big snooze. You know, it's kind of funny. We failed at doing our sipping game, like to watch these De Palma movies, and we're failing at even talking about Black Dahlia because it's so just like, fuck this.
We've talked about 99% of Black Dahlia. For people saying, oh, they've gone off the rails, like what they're not even talking about. No, we've talked about the entire movie to the extent that we can remember. The movie basically ends, like just real quick.
Wait, before you get to the ending, actually, because this isn't the end, but this is a thing we forgot. The Man Who Laughs is in the movie.
Yes, this old black and white movie.
Yes, and you'll be able to talk about this because you know more about it, and you were also awake during this part of the movie. My experience with this movie, when we were watching it, we paused so that our friend Nick could use the bathroom, which is, I think, when he was throwing up.
Super throw up.
And I I sobered up a little. I like stood up and walked around. I was like, okay, I'm kind of feeling, I'm getting in the zone, whatever. Sat back down on the couch and turned off like a light. And this was like an hour and a half, I think, something like that in. And when I woke back up, you were saying something about, you're like, oh, the clown, the thing with the clown, that's the man who laughs, whatever. And I was like, the Joker, the man who laughs, I know what does.
Yeah.
And then I was asleep again. And then when I woke up, the movie was over, and Josh Hartnett was shooting the troon in the head. Or
You're saying Jar Jar. Imagine if Jar Jar Binks was in this movie. Wouldn't that be cool?
He wasn't? You're saying?
He should be.
How is so me not? That's my experience with The Man Who Laughs. What the fuck is involved here? I know the Glasgow smile comes from that.
Yeah. I mean, the only reason why I was like kind of, and they do this in a lot of movies. So they did this in our episode of Promising Young Woman, where we were just like, oh my God, they're watching Night of the Hunter on TV. Mm-hmm. And we're just like, what the fuck? And then Blue Velvet also has a scene where Jeffrey's aunt and grandma are watching a movie that you knew.
Yes.
On TV.
That Sun Also Rises. What the fuck's it? Place in the Sun.
Yes. And it does relate to the themes of the movie, or like kind of as a basically is
inverse.
Like it's a harbinger of what is to come.
Yeah.
In some sense.
Yeah.
And then I was looking at it, I'm just like, oh, so this is what the Joker is based on, because Joker's smile in the comics is based on this black and white movie called The Man Who Laughs.
Yeah.
And it's a guy who I think has like a permanent smile. It's not a Glasgow smile, but he definitely has like a very like toothy grin.
He looks like the Joker in the Arkham games, like an impossible Quentin Tarantino shaped chin. And he's a man who, like in the Joker, the Joaquin Phoenix Joker, the whole thing where he's like compulsively laughing, I think comes from this movie, because the movie is about a man who compulsively laughs and looks off-putting to people.
Yes.
Because he's always doing a crazy grin.
Yes. Yeah. It's from the 30s, I believe, maybe 33, I forget.
Yeah. And the Black Dahlia's mouth was cut like the Heath Ledger Joker. That's called the Glasgow smile, where you cut the sides of the mouth up pretty much to the ear, so they permanently have a fucked up smile. The real life woman, actress who was in a porno, wanted to be in the thing, was like chopped up in multiple pieces, given a Glasgow smile. Somehow that's connected to The Man Who Laughs, because there's a painting of a clown with a Glasgow smile?
I guess so, and this is just a movie thing, because this obviously didn't happen in real life when they're investigating, but I assume this is just De Palma being like, oh yeah, movie reference, I need to do that right here.
Is that all it is?
I assume so, because here's the thing, I can't remember, and I've even read the synopsis again, why that's in the movie. I think it must just be a thing of just being like, hey, you know who have creepy smile too? This classic movie. I mean,
it could have just been De Palma saying, just like he did with Touch of Evil with Femme Fatale. He might have been like, hey, Man Who Laughs, that guy smiled. This has a Glasgow smile. I'm going to just make these connected now.
Is he doing member berries of like, remember Man Who Laughs?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
De Palma's career is kind of member berries. Dressed to Kill is just a blatant ripoff of Psycho. Hitchcock was, when Alfred Hitchcock, who's De Palma's idol, watched Dressed to Kill, he's like, this fucking hack. He was so mad. And De Palma's, many sequences, the slow case, oh my God. I'm not even drunk. I just can't talk. I'm
not even drunk.
I'm really not functional right now. The slow motion staircase scene in Untouchables is like Battleship Potemkin. Like everything, he takes things from things. He is a member berries coded guy.
I see.
Anyway, so at some point there's a Glasgow smile and a Joker, Man Who Laughs, and footage. And then the movie becomes really boring, and Josh Hartnett he's having an affair with Hilary Swank. He meets her under the guise of, I think he's there to question. He shows up at her house, and she lives with her parents, I think.
Yes. Oh, this is the most bizarre part.
And they have a long dinner scene, and I can't remember if he's investigating one of the parents, or Hilary Swank, but one of them is connected to something, and Hilary Swank is like, hey, actually, instead of telling the other cops down at the cop house that you work at, you should just fuck me, and then I won't. And then in exchange for fucking me, you won't let anyone know that you're looking into me. And Josh Hartnett's like, okay, that makes sense. And it's like, well, doesn't that give away she has something to hide?
Yeah.
So then they just start having sex, and they have multiple scenes in bed where her blanket is pulled up just over her nipples, which is really stupid, and women don't do that in bed. Mm. And I wish movies would stop having this. He's already seen your boobs. You wouldn't be hiding them from him.
Yeah.
Show us, the audience.
Show me your fucking tits, you man.
Your tits that don't exist, you man. You fucking sure. And you have two penises under there. I know it.
Show me your top penis.
You have lumpy penis under there. They have a lot of boring scenes, and then ScarJo realizes that he's fucking Hilary Swank, and she's like, now I don't fuck you because you're fucking her. Mm-hmm. And this goes on for a long ass time. And this is where my memory, because I blacked out that night, this is where my memory that I can trust actually ends. Because the next thing I know, Josh Hartnett is killing Hilary Swank. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, wait, what happened? And you're like, she was a Black Dahlia.
Yes. She's Black Dahlia, and then Scarlett Johansson is Black Widow, and then Two-Face is watching Joker. So that's the connection, Caleb. Yes. You don't fucking get it because you're dumb as fuck. And so basically what happens at the end is through some like convoluted means where the story is resolved in 10 minutes, Hilary Swank's family, who's like this old money LA family, is like, hey, by the way, we're evil. We killed Black Dahlia for stupid reasons. And Josh Hartnett is like, okay, that's interesting. And then like, and then he takes like a gun out, or I think he does, and shoots like the matriarch of the family, and she like just falls off the banister. And he's like, okay, Black Dahlia solved.
Harry Potter's aunt kills herself. She blows her own head off.
She does?
Yeah.
Fuck. Wait.
She does a Willem Dafoe dog eat dog to her jaw.
Under the chin, bullet to brain.
I think.
I have no idea if that's true. I'm not going to debate you. I know she dies.
Because Josh Hartnett, remember, he has a scene where he's like, you see this gun? Last time I pulled this trigger, I hesitated. Because at the beginning of the movie, when they shoot that black guy, when he kills the black guy, and then like a block away, someone's like, the Black Dahlia was just killed here. He has something about like, I hesitate. I couldn't fire my gun. And then he's ready to shoot this on. He's like, I wanted to shoot a woman. Then she shoots herself. And he's like, I can't. Then he goes home and somebody says something to him. And then he's like, you know what? I think Hilary Swank might also be connected. So then he goes back to Hilary Swank and he's like, I was going to shoot your aunt and then she shot herself. So maybe I shoot you now. And Hilary Swank's like, actually, you're right. It's like Minesweeper. He's just like randomly clicking and he's somehow coming up correct with everything he does.
Every bullet he fires kills a bad person.
Yeah. Am I misremembering, or did we talk about that the following morning, that the movie is just like Josh Hartnett just like, I got a feeling that someone behind that door probably knows about the Black Dahlia, and then somehow he's right every time.
It's like Family Guy writing.
Yeah.
Where he's just like, remember when I found the person who was evil? Mm-hmm. Hello, person who's evil?
Yeah.
Yeah, that basically is the framework for everything that happens in the entire movie, but more specifically the third act, is he's just like, okay, the movie needs to end now. The evil people all live in the same house. And
so it's easy to find them.
It's the evil house, and I go there and I kill the woman. And then, at the end of the movie, he just goes back to ScarJo, and it says, I kill Black Dahlia, but you are Black Widow. And she goes, okay. And then they kiss, and the movie ends. And I was like, what is this rom-com ending? Like, they might as well have done just, like, the Looney Tunes style, like, circle around them, and then it just goes to all black.
The iris zoom out.
Exactly.
That actually it's interesting you say that, because I just remembered another thing. When the movie is wrapping up, Josh Hartnett shoots Hilary Swank has a line of dialogue that I remembered. Before we started this movie, I was telling you guys, and Chris, because Chris and I were the only two who had seen Mission to Mars and Black Dahlia. And I was like, I never finished Black Dahlia. I watched like half of it. And I remember the last thing that I remember was Hilary Swank saying something about like, I know you want to kill me, but you'd rather fuck me. Turns out that's the last scene of the movie. So I actually did watch Black Dahlia, and I just forgot.
You know what's funny? Because in the drinking game, you said when this line happens, we all have to do a shot, by the way, of New Amsterdam gin, which was a terrible choice, which made Nick's
what I had.
It should have been anything else. But we paused it and said, okay, shot time. And it said runtime left 5 minutes.
Yeah,
and we're like, oh, no.
And by the way, that was a really bad idea.
That was terrible.
So we're drinking very strong cocktails. Mm-hmm. I invented the half and half this night. So I have no memory.
Okay.
I have no memory of this, but apparently I made the strongest drinks ever.
Okay, I need to tell the people what your cocktail was. So you said, hey, fuckers, I got this new drink called the half and half. And it's half whiskey, half Jim Beam, half Coke. So just, Jim and Coke. And then later in the night, we're just like, Caleb, you were making these drinks and they're super strong. And I said, it was basically just half whiskey, half mixed. And you said, it's not half and half. And I'm like, Caleb, that literally is half and half. And you said, no, it's 1/2 ice, 1/2 whiskey, 1/2 Coke. And I'm like, Caleb, the ice doesn't count.
He's half man, half bear, half pig.
And we were losing our mind. You were screaming. We were having an argument. And Chris and I were just like, no, Caleb, that is half whiskey, half Coke. And I guess ice.
I do remember the ice. I remember the ice distinction because I remember because Nick, our other friend Nick, got so fucked up, and he was puking, he was crawling on the floor, he was bleeding from his eyes. It was crazy. Yeah. And I remember that I felt bad. I was like, "Oh, let me make you something kind of balanced." And I remember thinking in my mind, "Well, the ice, because if the ice melts, that's water."
It dilutes.
I filled this glass with ice. Obviously, the liquid fills in between, but fair amount of ice in here, Coke, whiskey. So elementally, it's 1/3 water. I don't remember an argument ensuing, but I do remember thinking that in my mind. The following morning, you and Chris were like, Caleb, you were like dying on the hill. This is not a half and half. It's like a 3-part thing. Yeah. And you're like, one of the halves was ice. So I got a little drunk, I guess.
I love. Yeah, I mean, when you were sober, you were just like, "That's dumb," but it was just so funny because you were screaming like when we were arguing about like Blue Jasmine,
yeah,
or that fucking what's his name, Wahlberg in The Departed. Yeah. You were angrier than that. You were louder than that. You were like belting at the top of your lungs. It's ice. It's half ice.
I don't even remember this. This is one of the few times in my life I've actually blacked out. Let's tally it up. So we drank. So we went to lunch before starting the movie where we had cocktails.
We had one cocktail. We saw something that was like kind of crazy that we had to try.
Yeah.
That was like really bizarre.
It was a gin cocktail that had some interesting ingredients. So we all had that.
Yeah.
We made... I was drinking pretty much Jack and Coke throughout the night.
And you were drinking beer on the drive over.
and drinking beer on the ride up to Chris's place.
Yeah.
And hydrating during the movie with beer.
Which is a great idea.
Which I didn't think would... I honestly, because I felt kind of fine. For like half of the Black Dahlia, I felt buzzed, but I felt fine. And then suddenly something just like switched and my head just turned off. Because at a certain point, when the Black Dahlia ended and we were like, okay, we've made it through. I was like, thank God. Okay, we were first leg of the journey's over. I do recall having the idea like I should stand, I should walk, I should drink water, I should get some fresh air. I remember thinking those thoughts. The next thing I know, I am on an air mattress in Chris's office, and It's morning.
Yeah, so Caleb didn't know this because, like he said, blacked out. You decided when the movie was over, you made it through the end of the movie and the credits, and you just were like, oh, I'm going to go to the bathroom. And we're like, okay, cool. After like 15 minutes, I really had to pee, so I was like, all right, Caleb's not out yet. I need to make sure that he didn't just fall asleep on his back and then Jimi Hendrix himself choke on his own vomit. And I put my ear up to the door, and for a couple seconds I was really scared. And then after 5 seconds I just hear it go, and I'm like, okay, so he's not dead. Thank God. And I try to knock on the door. I'm like, Caleb, are you okay? And you're not even doing your, you're not responsive.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, what the fuck? I get Chris's lockpicks and lockpick the door. And open it.
I thought you were kidding about that. I used a nickel to turn it to the left.
No, I used literal lockpicks, opened it up, and you're on your side, and I'm just like, okay, so his chest is moving up and down, he's breathing, and I kind of push you, I'm like, Caleb, and you go, and I'm like, all right, you good? And can we put you in bed? And you're like, and you stand, by the way, you do this thing, you have you're like a honey badger, dude. So you get really drunk, but you're still in control of your motor functions. Mm. So you will just stand up on your own, perfect balance, and walk to the bed with your eyes closed. It's actually impressive how you do this. I don't know how you do it. So I walked you to the bed. I gave you my hand, and I was like, all right, Caleb, we're going to put you in bed. Do you need water or anything? And I don't know why I ask you questions, because every response to anything is,
Following morning, we opened up YouTube. We watched some scenes from Black Dahlia. I think we rewatched the death scene.
We watched some YouTube shorts, yeah.
We watched some YouTube shorts about Chris Stuckman. And it felt really nice. I was like, this is funny. We found some YouTubers we might have to do an episode on in the future.
The girls? Oh.
And the guy.
Oh, that guy is hilarious.
We have to do something with the stuff we found. Mm-hmm. We watched some videos about Shelby Oaks, and I was like, life is good. We get in the car, and the hangover really fucking hits. I got home, drank 2 full glasses of water, crawled into bed, and went to bed. I slept from like 2 p.m. to like 9 or something. And then I woke up and I was like, I need to do something better with my life.
Yeah. Jesus.
I don't know how your day was.
Honestly, I got back and I was completely fine. I don't know what it was, but I really wasn't hungover when I woke up. I think it was, I had drank some water beforehand. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't drinking like sugary stuff. Not that you were, but that does give you a hangover more.
Well, drinking the Coke for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, you know what I think it was? Before I went to bed that night, I had like 5 of those little Cokes that you brought, and I actually felt okay in the morning. So maybe that's the secret.
And you ate, right?
I did ate.
When it it's really weird.
Yeah, leave that in for evidence. When Caleb eventually kills 100 people.
I got nothing to hide. Yeah.
Yeah, so Black Dahlia, I'll give it half a dick in my fucking ass.
Oh, yeah, you gave it half a star.
It's genuinely unfollowable.
I actually think I like it more than all of us because you gave it half a star, Nick gave it half a star, Chris gave it 1 star. And even though it's bad, I would actually, like, in my method of scoring, I think would actually get more points because think about it. Almost everything besides the casting choices and the story is kind of fine. Like, and so the way I score things, it's like, hey, the sound was good. The music was fine. The cinematography, pretty good. Not my personal taste, but pretty good. There's a lot of qualities to it. No.
I mean, Caleb, the entire drinking thing was that we had like stupid camera movements, and we drank a lot to that.
Well, not stupid camera movements. And also, Palma's camera's always moving, so we said more than 2 axes.
We might be the first people to talk about De Palma for an hour and not even mention the split diopters in it.
Oh,
that were just out of focus.
Go off on that, please.
Yeah. So De Palma's famous for using a split diopter in his movies, where for people who don't know about technical stuff, basically 2 things on the left and right, usually, side of the screen are in focus at the same time, but they're at different lengths away. So you have somebody close to the camera who's in focus, and then somebody in the background who is also in focus. Yeah. A lot of De Palma movies use this. It's his like signature thing, what he's known for. There are scenes in this movie where the split diopter is just out of focus. There's also one where it's like, I've never seen like a horizontal split diopter. It's usually vertical, it's like left rare. And right side. Yeah. And it's like the bottom like 1/8 of the screen is like a newspaper that the character is looking over. Mm-hmm. And it keeps getting cut off, so they didn't do it correctly. Yeah. And it's just also like out of focus at certain points, and he's looking at a person above it. And it just kind of looks bad.
It looks really bad.
And it's like, how did you set this up? Because that would have been a bitch to film. And it still didn't turn out good.
Split diopters to me are like day for night, where it's like, this is never good. Even when it's done where the line, there are examples of it being good, some in De Palma movies, some in just other movies. But almost always it's like, whoa, this is really distracting. The Black Dahlias are lined up so badly that like where the closer object falls out of focus, there's just a strip of the screen that just looks like it has Vaseline smeared on it.
Yeah.
And we're all like, oh my God.
There was one that we saw where he actually split it correctly, like through the frame of a door in the middle. And it looked fine. Yeah. It was funny because we were screaming whenever we saw it, and we both went, oh, and then half a second later we went, actually, that's fine.
It was the frosted window in his office where the blurriness was right where the frosted window ended. So it actually looked normal. Like we caught it, but your eye wouldn't necessarily just go right to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We gave him some points. So this movie isn't nothing. He did do one decent split diopter that had a reason to exist.
Yes, a reason to exist and defend itself.
And I
don't know how to connect that to Paul Schrader via a good segue, so I'm just going to do it the way I just did. I told you earlier that I would get it open. Taxi driver writer Paul Schrader accused of sexually assaulting his former personal assistant. And this is the photo they chose for the article. It's funny how every photo of him
he looks like old Orson Welles, but with more AIDS.
He does look like a pug. You mentioned pug. Very pug look. Legendary filmmaker Paul Schrader, the screenwriter behind Taxi Driver, American Gigolo, Raging Bull, yada yada, harassed his personal assistant over the course of years, the 26-year-old woman claims in civil court. Documents obtained by The Independent. The bombshell allegations emerged after Schrader allegedly reneged, great word, on a confidential settlement he agreed to in February, according to an affidavit. But this, get to the allegations.
Get to the rape, come on.
Here is the claim by Miss Doe. Schrader, 78, quote, used his position of power over Miss Doe to sexually assault her by luring her into a hotel room and forcibly grabbing her and kissing her, despite her verbal protests. 3 days later, he forced Miss Doe into his hotel room under the guise of packing his bags for him, and he exposed his penis. During Doe's tenure, which lasted from May 2021 through her termination in September 2024, Schrader, quote, forced her to work in a sexually hostile, intimidating, and humiliating environment on a daily, if not hourly, basis. The motion states, it lists, in addition to sexual assault, a, quote, barrage of harassment by Schrader, including, but not limited to, forced exposure of his genitals. So he routinely would like, oh, my penis.
Oh, by the way, my penis, if you haven't seen.
Unwanted sexual advances, repeatedly professing his love and desire to touch Miss Doe, both verbally and via numerous emails.
To whom it may concern, show me your pussy
He's on Facebook. He thinks, by the way, he doesn't know how Facebook works, so he'll write things on Facebook that he's like, oh my God, the world found out. It's like, Miss Doe also alleged near constant inappropriate sexual questions and lewd misogynistic commentary. Now, I believe every word Miss Doe says.
Just tell me your name and I'll send you a check. I believe you.
Everything, and the article goes on. She mentions this one thing where they're at a hotel and Schrader, apparently, she says like he repeatedly texted her and was like, I'm dying, come help me, come help me. She comes to his room and he's like not dying, but he says he got sick the night before and he's like, I sweated through the bed sheets. Feel how wet it is. And then she was like, I don't really want to feel this, but he's like, and he like grabbed her hand and made her feel the sheets, and they were like soaking wet. So I guess he had like some kind of crazy viral illness. Like,
yeah. And
then he was like, oh, what's that? Oh my God. And he like unzipped his pants and pulled out his cock, and she was like already ready for it. I was like, oh, okay, sure. So anyway, this has been, I think, settled. This article, this is kind of late. This news is kind of old, but I believe every word of that story.
Yeah. Yeah. He seems like a scumbag. He seems like he can't. Even back in the day, before he got like that Artie Lang fucked up coke nose, he was still not a looker.
Patreon.com/YourOlderBrothers. You can write into us at YourOlderBrothers@gmail.com. Let's go make my sheets moist.
Yes.